All right, welcome back to Coffee Cafe Week 3. So like I've mentioned before, you are going to be on your own in regards to recording the transaction, okay? This is where I'm going to give you the reins on how to do everything. I showed you so far what to do. You kind of picked it up early. So now again, I don't have any of the journals in here for you. So you're going to have to be able to tell me how you're going to journalize it. Okay, and all I can say is yes or no, that's correct, or go on forth that way. But I am not, of course, I'm going to walk you through the answer, but I'm not going to give you the answer, okay? So again, everything, this is for your benefit, for practicing everything that I taught you. So in this case, you're going to show me how you're going to journalize, okay? All right. So, yes, yep. So, all right, this is where, so we have longer transactions, and this is where most of the time a lot of confusion comes into play, okay? So let's start off with the very first one. Here, it is finally Sunday, or I guess, Saturday, June 15, all right? And we're going to start opening up the store. Okay?
All right.
So what's the first transaction that you see here?
So pay LV remodeling CO for remodeling job. The invoice says 1754. So that was the 1890.
How do you know that's so? How are you so certain?
I don't know. I just went to the example that we have, and that's what it is. Invoice 1754.
Okay. Now, where else can we find that information if I didn't
And
have all the papers from before?
the ledger or the subsidiary ledger.
Correct. So let's take a look at that subsidiary ledger so we can double confirm is that the correct bill for LV remodeling. So LV remodeling, here it is. LV remodeling for 1754. Here it is for 1890. Correct. So in this case, we're making a payment. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was on the subcontractor expense and account payable. So we have to increase the how they pay, just like that.
In this case, right, I already
Account
acknowledged
receivable,
not receivable,
bill payable.
accounts payable, right? Because in this case, right, I'm paying off what I owe.
With the bill that we need to pay.
Yep.
1819. Account payable, and we have a subcontractor expense.
Why are you why would you undo a subcontractor expense?
Because you pay them.
But the job was already done. Why would you need to undo it? If I put it under, if I put some contractor expense as a credit, I'm undoing it.
No, subcontractor expense. It is right more than expense.
You already acknowledged the expense, and you said that you're gonna pay them later. Now fast forward, I need to pay them now.
But you paid them. So what you put? Did you put the name of the company?
Yes. Okay, but in this case, how am I paying them?
Oh, you pay them. I don't know. Let me see. With a check.
All right. So if I'm paying with a check, therefore, what am I decreasing?
From my bank account, from the checking.
Yes, you are. You're going to be exactly right, because the first transaction we record was that we acknowledged that a job was done. Right? We had subcontractor expense. However, I didn't pay them then. I said I would pay them later. Now, fast forward a couple of days later, now that it's time to make a payment, now I actually have to pay for what I owe. Because in this case, right, I already said the expense had already happened. but I said I would owe them. So now fast forward, this journal right here is saying, well, I'm going to pay for what I owe.
Yeah.
Okay? So checking. Okay,
Checking.
count 10 100 for 1890.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep. So invoice. Okay. Remodeling. How we call it? LV remodeling CO. LV remodeling CO. So invoice 1754 and use a check. So we have to go to the register, by the way.
Yes, we do, because what check number are we going to use? We don't know yet. So
But
here I
let's
am.
So we have a with which date? It is 15th, June 15th. June 15th. So it is the check 1514 for 1890.
Okay?
And so remodeling, LV remodeling CO. Right. So we have to go to the ledger after this.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to account payable. And we so check 1514. We have
I'm going to say I'm making a payment to invoice 1754 payment. Okay.
So journal 5, no?
Mm-hmm.
Page 5. So on the debit we have to put 1890.
Okay.
So we have a 13,786.4.
Good. Right. We're decreasing our liabilities. Okay.
We're going to the checking. The 15, the check 1514, page 5, and we have a there 1819. So we have, let me see, 189.92 minus 14. So we have 2,299.92.
Good.
Now we go to the subsidiary ledger
Okay.
to LV remodeling CO.
Okay.
And we're gonna pay. So that was for, I don't know, remodeling job.
Mm-hmm.
Invoice 17. So it's design store. We have the invoice there.
Mm-hmm.
1754. Page 5. So no, the invoice amount is 1819.
In this case, did we receive another bill?
Do we receive something?
Well, that's the case.
I didn't.
Because if you are going to be entering in the invoice amount, right?
Mm-hmm.
and then you're going to make a payment to it, you're doubling up the amount of invoices because you're saying that I have another invoice for
So prepaid.
$18.90 and I'm making another payment.
So you prepaid 18.19.
No,
No.
there's no prepayment because you received a bill already.
So what exactly you doing? I don't know.
Well, what did you do?
I paid.
Right. Okay, there you go. So
Payment
payment for $18.90.
19,
Okay,
and that's all. We don't.
right? It shows that I have a negative $18.90. So therefore,
Mhm.
how much do
Oh,
I
that was
actually owe?
15.60.
You only owe $15.60, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, no, you don't need to enter in the invoice amount because you already put it in there in the first place. However, this line right here just shows me I made a payment to this invoice. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, that I didn't make a payment to invoice number 1760, right? This one's clear that for I made a payment to 1754.
1754.
And how did I pay? With check number
With check
1514.
number 15.
And this is what it happened in General Journal number 5, where I received the bill in General Journal number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's a separation of me receiving the bill, and then here I make a bill payment. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
all right.
So that's all. We're done with that, no?
Yep, that's it.
So now we purchase Office from Office Supply Store for 150. Pay with the business credit card.
Okay.
So Office Supply
Office supplies.
for 150. Office supplies, let me see the account it is. Office supplies 800. And you have a credit card. We pay with a credit card.
Yep, good. We paid with a Visa credit card. Good.
800 for $150. Pay with it.
Okay.
150. That was the 15th, 615. So office supply. No, yeah, from office supply store.
Good.
That's the name. Mm-hmm. And pay with credit. No, okay, that's all. You have to put something else.
Nope, that's it.
Supply store. And we're going to the ledger.
Okay.
To the office supplies, it is asset.
Mm-hmm.
Office supply store.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, I bought office supplies. I didn't say specifically what I bought.
No, we don't have any information. So, page 5, and it is 150 debit.
Okay. Good.
And we're going to the credit card.
And we're going to go to the credit card. Okay.
Office supply store.
Good.
So we have page 5.
Okay.
Under credit, we have 150. So we have a 320 plus 150 is 470 and 31.
Good.
Yep. We have the subsidiary ledger too.
Yes, we do, because we bought office supplies from the office
Supplies
supply
too.
store. Okay, here you go, office supply store.
So the 15, we buy supply
Mm-hmm.
with credit card. No invoice, no nothing, just the payment, and that's all. And we pay.
Okay, so we owe nothing but the payment. What do you mean by that? What was the original invoice amount for?
We don't have a 150, but we don't have an invoice even.
Well, in this case, right, if we
What's
go to
the
the
amount?
store, it would still be
Uh-huh.
a
We're gonna
sales
give you
receipt.
an
So the
okay,
sales
so
receipt's going to tell me that I owe 150, but I paid it off using a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so therefore I paid for it with the credit card.
So we don't anything. We don't have to pay anything.
So
That's
yeah,
it.
so in this case, that's exactly why we owe nothing. Okay.
Mhm.
Reason we need to
Yeah.
keep it like this is because what if I go back to the store and I decided to return some pens because I never used them and I don't think I'll ever use them? What would you do then?
So we have to return, and we have the discount. We all of the we have to write that. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's all.
Mhm.
Okay. So we done here with this.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to the wholesale food store, and we buy 60 pound of sugar for 0.36 per pound.
Okay.
Now we have to create inventory, or yes, we do. No?
In this case, do we
Let's do-
consider sugar and creamer as inventory? Do we need to actually keep a close track of these items?
It's part of the stuff that you use for your coffee, no? Supposed to?
Yes, but do we
No.
have to have a means to keep track of it? Do we need to keep track of it?
I think that we have to track that, but it doesn't look like you can. I convince you.
Well, I mean, okay, so let's take a look at my chart of accounts. If
Uh-huh.
I, just like my coffee cups, right? I don't necessarily need to keep a complete track of it. It's not technically inventory, right? I don't need to say 1 cup of my coffee is exactly X amount of cents. Like, I need to keep track of it, like, as a record on my inventory.
It's like you sell coffee, but a part of the coffee is the sugar and the creamer.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason I see.
Mm-hmm. It is part of the cost of a coffee, but
Uh-huh.
in this case, I'm not going to keep track of it part of inventory.
So if you sell a cake, you don't track the sugar and all of the ingredients that you need for to make it. You just track the cake, the full cake, for example,
Exactly. You keep track of the cake, but you don't keep track of
the ingredients.
the ingredients, do you? Do you need to? Like, so if I bought a box of 24 eggs, right? Do I need to keep a really good count of my eggs?
Eggs, I don't think so.
No, because sometimes you can break them, right? Sometimes
Mhm.
you open up the box and there's already a couple of them broken. So
Mhm.
in this case, eggs,
You
I can go by the carton. Yes, I can keep track of that. But in this case, right, it's fine if I just keep it as a business supply. As in, like, I don't keep track of it until maybe towards the end of the given accounting period where I count my materials that I have left.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this case, right, I'm not going to break it down to the down to the boil of how much of this and how much of that. Okay, because in this case, I don't want to keep track of it as inventory. I'd rather keep track of it as a regular
Expenses.
supplies. Yes, as a regular, as an expense, correct. So in this
Mm-hmm.
case, right, just exactly what you said, you don't keep track of the eggs, the sugar, and the flour. You keep track of the selling the actual cake itself.
So just the final product.
In this case, yes, right? However, we do have an account called cost of material where we do actually calculate how much we actually got rid of in regards to selling the coffee cups. Like we do adjust our supplies at the end of the given accounting period, but it's not necessary where we have to keep track of it because that's going to be a lot of work, right? We're keeping
Yes.
track of every single cup that we sell.
We again, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I mean, at the end of the day, right? That's still a little too much work, right? Would it benefit you
Yes.
to keep track of every single cup that you sell?
I don't think
What if
so.
you dropped a couple cups on the ground?
Oh,
Are you gonna keep
it's
track of that?
no.
No,
Yes.
no, 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 you
Right.
wouldn't, right? Because at the end of the day, right? Okay, they're dirty. Throw them in the trash,
Uh-huh.
right? They're just a mere expense to the company,
So
right?
the only most of the time, we when you have like a coffee place or bakery or stuff like that, you're just counting the final product.
Right,
That's all.
exactly, right, exactly, correct. Because at the end of the day, again, like many people, again, maybe you
Mm-hmm.
sold some coffee cups, or what if your coworker decides to take a coffee cup to go home for work? Because you allow that. You say, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
you worked a great day. Go ahead and make yourself a coffee
And
and
take a
take it
coffee.
home. Are you
Uh-huh.
going to charge her for that?
No,
No. Are you going to keep track of that she took three, four, five cups?
I don't think so.
No, you don't. It's just a mere
There's a lot to
expense,
do.
right? It's just really something small. You would
Mm-hmm.
consider that as something as like an expense to the company, but you wouldn't have a means to keep track of it as inventory. Now, yes, you can if it makes sense to you saying, oh, I need to make sure that each cup of coffee is exactly 5 cents for a cup of coffee, and then each pound is like this much, right? You actually calculate it down to how much it costs for a cup of coffee.
So you calculate.
Then yes, you would probably want to record that as inventory. But at the end of the day, right? What does one coffee cup right now? Because we bought it for what, 5 cents a cup? What is that one five
Yes,
cents going to do for your business?
it's an expense. I don't know what it's gonna do.
Exactly. Is that a means for you to have to keep track of it as inventory?
No.
No, because it's just 5 cents. What is 5 cents going to do for your company? It's almost nothing.
Exactly.
Where coffee, right? You're buying coffee by the pound. Now,
Mm-hmm.
of course, yes, that would be best because you're using the coffee to produce the coffee for the store. But at the same time, right? You're using it and you want to keep good track of it because that's the main core product of your store. You're selling the coffee itself, whether you brew it or you sell it as the bag of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Same thing with the coffee mugs, right? Yeah, coffee mugs, ceramic
Okay.
coffee mugs. Yes, you definitely want to keep track of that because what if one day someone comes in and orders a bunch of coffee cups from you, and you go back in the your inventory, you don't see any left. What does that do for your
Okay.
business? Okay, where a simple mere paper cup isn't going to really be as important because you can just go down to the store and buy more coffee cups, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's very it's not worth to actually keep track of it by per cup or whatever it is, right? It has no means for you to keep a track as an actual inventory. You can if you'd like, but again, that would be extra work for you because then you have to go through the inventory worksheet. You have to calculate
Mm-hmm.
the exact amount of cups that you sold.
And the cost of each cup of coffee, no? Too. with everything together, the
Exactly.
sugar and the
So
data.
in this case, right,
So
we
make it
it
hard.
you're right. It'd be more beneficial if we keep track of the sale as a final product. Yes, that would be more
Product.
beneficial than it is to each count every single cup of coffee, because what if you brew coffee, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you made it too dark this time. What are you going to do with that
Yeah.
coffee?
How many grain of sugar? Not to
Exactly.
not
How
forget it.
many grains of sugar are you is going
Sugar.
to be exactly per coffee, right? Because you can't tell, right? What if somebody
Mm-hmm.
likes it sweeter than others? What if
That's
people
right.
don't like sugar in their coffee? What if people don't want cream in their coffee? They just want it straight up black.
But for example, here you have a 60 pound of sugar. So
Mhm.
you, if it's coming on package of a pound, for
Mhm.
example,
Mhm.
so you can keep tracking. You can it can be like inventory. You have a 60 package of sugar for 0.36, and you can do that, or is no.
Yes, like I said, you can. Yes, if it really means that you really have to want to
Mhm.
keep track of all the sugar that you want to keep for making a cup of coffee, it is up to you. If you want to bring it down to the scale of how much is it going to cost me to
But
even produce one cup of coffee, yes, you can do that.
mhm.
Yes, you can. Again, like I mentioned before, it'd be a lot more work on your end, because then
Mhm.
now you have to keep track of the coffee. You have to keep track of the cups, keep track of the sugar, keep track of the creamer, keep track
Everything.
of this, keep track of that. Okay?
Mhm.
In this case, there's more important things that I rather keep track of, which is going to be my inventory, which is how many pounds of regular coffee do I have in order to make my coffee?
Mhm.
How many pounds of supreme coffee do I have in order to make the coffee? And how many coffee mugs do I normally sell in my store? Those are
Mhm.
going to be items that
The
you would
proper.
more likely keep track as inventory, where a coffee cup, right? It's just a piece of paper, right? A
Mhm.
coffee paper cup. In that case, why would I need to keep track of it if it's so small? Because again, maybe my coworkers decided to drink. Maybe Irene decided to make a coffee for herself in the morning. Or maybe I want a coffee. Maybe the owner wants to take a coffee, right? You
Mhm.
know?
Yep.
And they will
Mhm.
use the product accordingly, right? Now, in this case, right? And then there's no point to actually really keep track of every single cup that you sell or every single cup that's being used, because it's so small in regards to calculating, actually bringing it, boiling it down to the exact cents it takes to create a product. Is it's unnecessary
Mhm. Okay.
to keep track of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I try to understand because there's so many stuff that is going on a business. So when you create a product, so it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to be really hard to follow every single to make inventory for every single stuff that you're doing.
Yes. So in this case, yeah, it can be difficult, because yes, there are certain things that you have to do in regards to that. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but in this case, I don't need to keep track of it as inventory. Okay. Um.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But we will, if we do go and use QuickBooks, then yes, we're gonna have to keep track of every cup, every sugar, every creamer that we use to build our products
The
in
product.
order. So yes, yes. But in
Okay.
this case, I don't want to keep track of it. It's not necessary to keep track of it. So what I want to do is I just want to make sure we
That we take
understand.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we go into the sugar and we journalize both together, no? The creamer and the sugar, no?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have, I mean, the sugar is 11,770. Sugar, so 0. And we have the creamer. That it is, what is the creamer? The creamer is 11,775. 11,775. And
And
we pay with credit card. Pay with business credit card.
good.
So let me see how much it is. So we have a $21.60 for the sugar,
Okay.
and the debit 21.60. We have 48.99, and we paid totally $70.59. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we can say we buy from a Whole Food store,
Mm-hmm.
wholesale food store, and that's all.
Yep. That should be good enough. Okay. So in this case, right, just trying to make sure you understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there no tax?
It's food.
Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, good. So making sure you understand that yes, it's food. You don't pay tax on food. So good.
It's not hot food. It's food.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
This is yes. Because it's considered
No,
it's yeah, it's considered
not
tax
taxable.
exempt because it's food. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's the regular store you when you pay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's all.
Mhm.
And so we're going to the ledger, to the asset. Sugar, the 15, whole food, whole food store, pay with credit card.
How many pounds
That
of
would
sugar
be,
did I buy?
oh, we buy 60 pound for 0.36, 36%. You have to put the layer, so it doesn't matter.
In this case, it
So,
doesn't really matter because you'll be able to write it in anywhere else. Again, I don't have to follow what you say, or you don't have to follow
mm,
what I say, or like in regards to typing up in the items, right? Whatever you want to put
yes.
in there. In this case, I think it'd be important to know how much each pound cost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it is 21.60 on the debit side.
Okay.
We go to the creamer. So we buy 3 cases of 12 pack non-dairy creamer. I don't know if it's important or not. Non-dairy.
Three. So 36 bottles.
Oh, you're gonna put the
I
sugar.
mean, I just want to put that. Okay. What was the price per case? At
Uh,
16.99 or something like that.
16 30, 16.33 per case.
Okay.
And at page 5, it's 48.99. Mm-hmm. So, and then we have the credit card that we pay. So the 15, whole food, sugar and creamer. You buy sugar and creamer.
Okay.
So the page 5, we have 70.59 70.31 plus 70. So it's 540 and 90 cents.
Good.
Shit. Oh, no. Post to the oh no, we have to the subsidiary ledger. We have to do the whole food sale,
Correct.
whole food stuff. So we have the 15. Do the same. We buy sugar and creamer, and we pay with the Visa. That's all. And now we're going to the
Hold on.
invoice amount.
Yep.
Oh,
And
sorry.
no, you're correct. Go ahead. Invoice amount.
Invoice amount 70.59. So the payment is 70.59. So that's all. We don't have to pay it. Zero.
Yep. In this case, we do not owe any. Okay. Good. $0.
Right. So we received a bill after that. We received a bill from Silver State Electrical. So we have to stay on the subsidiary ledger because we're going to pay we have the details of the Silver State Electrical.
So you want to go back to the subsidiary ledger?
But we don't have to do anything else except to write that, no? We didn't receive any. We just received the bill, but we didn't pay. Or actually, we can journalize that and we pay account payable.
Good. Journalize it to accounts payable. Good. Why did we have Silver State Electrical do work?
For the grinder, no?
For the grinder. Good. So where is the grinder?
So it's still miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous because it's going to be the part of the cost of the coffee grinder. Good. So 15.
Miscellaneous suspense. What's the difference with miscellaneous expense and suspense? Is there any difference, or it's the new?
Well, in this case, right,
Actually,
suspense and expense are obviously two different words. But in this case, miscellaneous suspense, remember I told you, miscellaneous is anything, suspense is just thrown in the air, right? I don't know where this money is going. I don't know. I'm just leaving it in the air. It's a placeholder account. I don't know what I want to do with it. Expense is where I am making a payment for something that had happened. I'm spending money in order to operate my business.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So account payable.
Okay.
And we have $1,070 that we have to pay.
Okay.
1,070. So we have here from the Silver State Electrical. So we have an invoice number 3351, and we have a net for 8. Is it? That's right. That's okay.
Yep, that's it for that. Yep.
So we're going to the ledger. Miscellaneous Suspense.
Here we go, miscellaneous expense.
So we have there the 15 and electrical, the Silver State electrical. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, 3351. So page number 5, and we have 11. It was 1070. We have to add 13088 plus 4158.07.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Then we have account payable.
Then we have an accounts payable.
So we have invoice number 3351 from Electrical Silver. Silver State Electrical or no?
In this case, if I pull up the invoice, it will tell me exactly who this bill came from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we have credit 1070. 76.40 plus 70. So it's 856.4.
Good. Excellent. Good.
Now we go into the subsidiary ledger.
Then we're going to go to the subsidiary ledger. Good. Silver State Electrical. Let's see. Here it is. Silver State Electrical.
On the 15th, I don't know. The invoice, we're gonna write it.
Okay, so why did we receive the bill for?
For the wire, and I don't know what.
Yep, good. Electrical wiring.
Mhm.
Okay, for grinder. Okay.
So the invoice it is 3351. We have a page 5, and the term is net 4. So
Oops.
the due date is gonna be the 19.
So
the due date.
Due date is going to be the 19th.
19.
Okay.
The
You said, wait, what was that? Due date's going to be the 19th.
19.
Okay, good. Okay.
Now I have a problem. Oh, it is the invoice or the prepayment? Prepayment amount or invoice amount? I don't know.
In this case, right, did we ever give Silver State Electrical a down payment?
No.
No. So in this case, this is a bill.
Invoice.
So what was the invoice amount? How much did they ask you to owe?
1,070.
1,070. Did you make a payment?
Nope.
So in this case,
Zero.
nope,
So
no, not zero. You didn't make a payment.
No, we don't have. No, zero the payment. Do we have to pay 1,070?
Yes, there you go. Good. Okay. I understand what you're saying now. Okay, good. So here we owe 1,070. Okay.
Yep. Transfer coffee grain to the miscellaneous expense. Oh, you have to do that. Now we have to transfer the miscellaneous expense to the grinder account.
Good. All right. So now, how much is in my miscellaneous expense?
for the grinder.
For the grinder, yes. Well, how much is my total amount so I know how much I have to take out?
4,158.
Okay, so again,
Yes, that's all the miscellaneous.
okay, so in this case, I need to take out 4,158 and 7 cents.
You
Okay?
have to transfer all the account, not just for the grinder.
Yeah, that
So
is
we have
that is for the grinder because again, right? The grinder was 1528, right? And we said that every cost it takes to be included in the cost of the grinder is going to determine how much it's going to be ready to be placed in service. In this case, it needs a foundation. So that's going to be part of the cost of the grinder. It also needs electrical work, which is going to be
Mhm.
part of the cost of the grinder. So in this case, my grinder in grand total cost me $4,158.07.
Still not see that, because that's all the movement from the miscellaneous, and you have there many different stuff. If you add the foundation, it is 1560, and the electricity, the electric bill, it is the wire is 1070, and that's all. That's what I see from the grinder. The rest is the brewer and the
We took the brewer route a long time ago.
uh-huh.
We took the brewer route here,
Mm.
which cost me a total of $2,627.95. We took that brewer out,
The brewer
leaving
up.
leaving us
Mm.
the coffee grinder at $1,528.07.
1,500. Oh, after the okay. Now I got
Yes. So
I
that's
get.
the coffee grinder.
Mm-hmm.
Now because we had to add a foundation and we
Mm-hmm.
added electrical work, my grand total for my coffee grinder
It's
is
4,000.
$4,158.07.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry,
No
I
worries.
miss it.
No worries.
So we have the coffee grinder.
Mm-hmm.
We have and the miscellaneous on the credit side.
Yep. So coffee grinder. What
Grinder.
account number is that?
Good question. I don't remember. Let me see. Coffee. Where is it? This set. Where is the grinder? Military bistros. Mix. Coffee brewer equipment. Oh, 1520. I didn't finish the row. 1520.
Okay.
And miscellaneous.
Yes, we're going to be taking it out from miscellaneous expense.
Suspense. Let me see. Suspense. For the for the 4,158.07.
Okay. Good.
So we write that we move the miscellaneous to the coffee grinder.
Correct. You can see that. Move coffee grinder out from miscellaneous suspense account.
Um, yes, account. I got it.
Good.
Title.
All right, so we're already here in the miscellaneous expense account in our ledger. So let's go ahead and just take it out from here and then put it into the coffee grinder. So in this case, it
So
is the 15.
15. Move account. Move. Move to grinder.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we have on the credit side
Mm-hmm.
page 5, sorry. 5,000. You go 4,000.
Okay, because we're moving it out, right? So in this
Mhm.
case, what is my ending balance in my miscellaneous expense account?
zero, no?
It's supposed to be 0. Good, correct.
Mm-hmm.
So then now, finding my coffee grinder,
Mm-hmm.
which is here, coffee grinder. Perfect.
So now the 15. So we move from miscellaneous to the move from miscellaneous.
Mm-hmm. So you can say grinder.
For the amount.
Let me see what I put here. So the grinder was 1528.07.
Mm-hmm.
1528.07
Mm-hmm.
plus foundation of 1560 plus electrical
Electrical
for 1070.
1070.
Okay, so in this case, general journal number 5.
5 for 4,001 for 58.07. Okay, good. That's mm-hmm.
Good. Now in this case, did I deal with anybody for this?
Nope.
No, I did not deal with the vendor. I did not deal with a customer or a employee for this. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Let me see what else happened before we do go on forth. Okay, so go ahead and do the purchase order and we'll stop
Mm-hmm.
here, okay? So go ahead and do the purchase order. So what did we buy? Or what did we order?
We ordered 135 pound of regular coffee, 170,
Okay?
and we buy 125 for Supreme coffee for 196.25. Total cost 366.25.
Awesome. So what do we
So
do with purchase orders?
we go into purchase order to write that.
Yes, we're gonna
So we
go.
have.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the 15, and automatic that the purchase order. Because oh no, they said that it is the 307 purchase order.
Uh-huh.
So we have 125 pound of coffee. No, actually, totally 250.
Whatever you want to put
Oh,
in
due to
here.
the company. Due to the company.
Yeah, doesn't matter what you want to do
Mhm.
here because either you could say I bought 1 pound of this and 1 pound of that. It's up to you how you want to keep track of your coffees.
Mhm.
Okay.
Actually, if you want to check, you have to check later when they get what you get order if it's right or not. So you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to know details from the.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you order? No,
Mm-hmm. 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 And they're supposed to bill you no matter what.
it was 366.25.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bill. That's what you.
That's the
Oh, that's the
estimated
estimate.
amount. Yes,
Estimate amount.
366.25. Okay. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
when you do receive it, yes, you do need to count to make sure that they did send you 125 pounds of each coffee because sometimes they might send you more of this and less of that. So yes, you do. Your
Mm-hmm.
job is to go in there and make sure that you do count the exact amount because they might bill you separately, differently too. And or if you're going to accept it, then accept it. If not, then you have to go back to the vendor and say, "Hey, you sent me the wrong amount of this." Okay. All
So
right.
you're supposed to write the details of the coffee that you ordered, or you just write the 250
I'm just
pound of
gonna go ahead and just write 250 just because,
time.
yes, that too, okay? Because we're not in charge of the inventory, we're just in charge
Inventory.
of whether we received it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All
To make
right.
it complicated for the guys from the
Yes,
warehouse.
right.
Not good.
Okay, so good job. Again, we went through this
Thanks.
pretty quickly. So, again, good job. So, I'm going to stop here for today. Okay. Again, we'll continue on with week 3 tomorrow.